Fire in the Sky, Volume 1. Grand Tactical Battles in the Skies over Germany, 1944. How to play. Reactions. If you've been playing Fire in the Sky, you might notice that reactions are a pretty important part of the game. And Sean even commented on that in our Rolling Thunder video.
Right, interceptions are a huge thing in this game.
He's not wrong. So now we're going to walk you through it step by step. Let's get started. Reactions allow you to interrupt an enemy's move and activate a friendly squadron before the enemy finishes. You are allowed to try and activate one time during an enemy activation. It might be easier to think of it as you get to react once per card. You are allowed to try to react whenever an enemy squadron or individual section uses a movement action to move to a new zone. You cannot react if an enemy dives or climbs within a zone, uses a combat action, moves between zones as part of a rally action, and you can also not react with a friendly squadron that is currently tailing an enemy. So the procedure for reacting is as follows. Each time an enemy squadron or single section moves to a new square, they should ask if the opponent wants to try and react. The opponent may try or decline. Remember, you can only try to react once per activation, so picking the right time is important. When you try to react, both players will roll 1d10. The reacting player's die roll will be modified, and the highest die roll will win. If the reacting player wins, then the enemy freezes his activation, retaining any unused action points, while the enemy squadron takes a full activation. Once the reaction is finished, the squadron that triggered the reaction may use any unused action points. Here's an example. An ME-109G squadron of 3 sections has activated. Due to a previous combat, the squadron's 3 sections are separated and at medium altitude. A P-47 squadron of 3 sections is at high altitude covering the bombers. The ME-109s roll a 10 and a 9 on the action chart, giving them 3 action points and the choice between rally and getting an extra action point. By the way, if they had rolled the Out of the Sun special ability, the P-47s would lose the ability to react at all during this activation. The ME-109s choose Rally, which is the first thing they decide to do, and one section will move to connect with the squadron leader's section. Rally is not movement, so the P-49s cannot try to react. The German player then decides to use one action point to move his single section. The P-47s can react or not. Here, they decline. The Messerschmitts spend a second action point and move again. The P-47s still decline to react as they are worried about the larger group of ME-109s. The German player decides to use his third and last action point to move the larger group of Messerschmitts into the zone with the bombers to try and conduct a rear bounce. After they move into the zone, but before they use the rear bounce action, the P-47s decide to try and react. Both players roll 1d10. The player who is trying to react, here the P-47s, will modify their die roll. The other player will just have a straight roll with no modifiers. Here the Germans roll a 4, and the P-47s roll a 6. The modifiers are -1 per zone to the target aircraft, here -2. The difference in performance between the two aircraft, here the ME-109s have a +3 and the P-47s a +2, giving the P-47s an additional -1 modifier. Finally, the P-47s are 1 altitude level higher, giving them a +2 for a total of -1 to the P-47's reaction roll. The P-47s end up with a 5, which is higher than the ME-109's 4, so they are allowed to react. If they had failed, then the ME-109s would have been allowed to finish their activation and attack the B-17s. The P-47s then roll on the action chart and conduct a normal action. The only limitation is they can only use combat actions against the section or group of sections to which they are reacting. Now they are free to move anywhere they wish, including away from the enemy they are reacting to. To see how combat is resolved, watch our combat video, link in the description below. In our example, we will say that the end result was that one ME-109 section was shot down and the other survived and did not scatter. All the P-47s scattered. The ME-109 is now allowed to finish its activation so the remaining section can attack the bombers. I hope that made reactions clear to you. We have a bunch of other videos on movement and combat, so please check those out as well. And we're going to have lots of great upcoming Fire in the Sky action with Midway and Battle of Britain, all kinds of great stuff. So if you like this video, please give it a like and stay tuned. We got a lot more coming. Thanks for all your support.